looking at the steering wheel as well as the cluster screen inside of the Kia Telluride. One thing to point out is that there are two different varieties of the cluster screen that you're going to find inside the vehicle. They look relatively the same. It's just that this is the highest trim level available, so you've got some different customization options, including a blind spot view monitor. So the feature sets are going to be pretty much identical in between. So let's dive in and I'll show you what you need to know. The first thing is that the steering wheel inside the ride might be heated. Just by your right knee, there's a button there that you can push in order to toggle it on or off. And it's heated all the way around. And just down by your left knee, you've got a release for the steering wheel. So it's manual adjust across the entire lineup. So in, out, up and down. Find that perfect position, click it to lock it back into place. And there are so many different buttons and stalks, but one that I'll point out right from the get-go is that down by your left knee, you've got a series of switches. So you can increase or decrease the brightness of the cluster screen this way. There's downhill control, open or close the lift gate, and then you can toggle traction control on or off that way. So useful if you're driving wintertime specifically and you're not getting good traction inside of the vehicle. And then you've got a series of different buttons and stalks. So starting with the ones along the left-hand side. So you've got the option of easily adjusting out the light mode that you're in. You're going to be in the auto mode the majority of the time. Inside of the infotainment system, you can go into your light modes that are available. So you go into your vehicle setup, then vehicle, down to lights. That gives you the option of adjusting a few things out. So you've got your high beam assist mode. So where that comes into play, during nighttime, you push away and you've got your auto headlamp mode. So if the vehicle recognizes your high beams are needed, turns them on automatically. If somebody's oncoming, turns them off before turning them right back on again. So it is a fantastic setting there, but you're going to be in the auto mode the majority of the time. But in the daytime or even at night, if you wanted to permanently lock your high beams out all the time regardless, you push to the very top mode. So you're going to go into your headlamp on mode, push away to turn them on, pull towards you to turn them off. Just that in the auto mode, you can just flash your high beams out, but pretty simple there. And then there's also the option for toggling your fogs on or off. Then blind spot view monitor. So it utilizes the side-mounted cameras to show you what's going on inside of your blind spot. It's not a standard feature, but it is a neat one at the same time. Stalk along the right-hand side is going to be for your wipers. So if you go one level up, that's just a quick wipe, and then go into your intermittent level, one down, and then you can adjust using the rocker in the middle for how fast or slow that rain is hitting the windshield. You can go into one of your crazy modes from there. You're going to pull towards you to get the front wiper fluid going. And then along the right side, you can also adjust out your rear wiper too. So there are some different intermittent levels. And then if you push away, that's going to get the rear wiper fluid going. And there's also seat memory inside of the ride in some trims. So you're going to get your driver's seat set up the way that you'd like to. And then along the door, you're going to tap set in either 1 or 2 for it to remember your own personal profile. It's a great setting. Then all the different buttons. So we'll go with the ones along the left-hand side here to start. You've got a voice command prompt. So you'd be able to do things like change songs, radio stations, you can navigate using your voice and things like that. Now, on top of that, you can also do a push and hold in order to activate your Siri or Google Assistant. So if a phone was connected, you'd be able to set up your assistant that way. You've got a volume rocker this way, so up and down. You can push in the middle in order to mute. You can answer or hang up on a phone call. And then you've got this little switch in order to move between all of your presets. So if you had presets set up, you can move up or down between them. You can also use these buttons in order to do things. So you can use this button along the bottom in order to adjust things out. This one is going to be for your different sources. So you can see there, different sources that are available. So if you go into your setup and then button, you've got a few different buttons that are available. So there's one under the screen, but then you've got your 2 main ones on the steering wheel. So what does this custom button do? You can have it go either to the home screen, you can have it cancel your route, you can have it do nothing, and then there's your mode button. So this one is going to be whatever sources you tend to listen to. So let's say if you're just a fan of listening to FM, Sirius XM, Sounds of Nature, you select, deselect, whichever ones you'd like to. So then when you tap that mode button now, you can see it changes between all of the selected sources. So it's neat, you've got the availability to adjust these out very simply. This one other thing I didn't point out, so as you go between all of your different presets here, so you can see that adjusting, if you push and hold up or push and hold down, it acts as a seek button. You got to be pretty quick on the draw, but you can change stations out that way. And then along the right-hand side, you've got your smart cruise control system. So it's strictly adaptive, and that's the only option inside of this ride. So what you're going to do to toggle it on, you push the button here. It says that because I'm parked, but as you're driving, you push this, it's going to set it at whatever your current speed is. You then go up or down to increase or decrease 1 kilometer, 1 mile per hour at a time. Push and hold up or push and hold down in order to go up or down in larger increments. You can hit the brake to cancel your speed. You can push the middle button there to cancel your speed, and then you push in the middle again to resume your previously set speed. There's also a gap adjustment, so a distance indicator. It's how close or far are you away from that vehicle that's in front of you, with 4 unique levels. Then there's also this one that's going to turn on either the lane keep, lane follow assist systems. So with this one, if you just do a tap, that's going to be the lane follow assist. If you push and hold, that is going to toggle that lane keep assist system on. So the systems are different. Lane keep, if it recognizes the lane markings and you start to veer over into a lane without signaling, nudges you back into your lane. With the lane follow assist system, so that steering wheel, if it recognizes the lane markings, it's not self-driving, but it's going to keep you perfectly balanced in your lane. So if you take your hands off the steering wheel for a few seconds, keeps you nice and balanced. So the car is not self-driving. Just because you've got these systems doesn't mean you can't pay attention, like just not pay attention, but it's nice to know these are available. I use the adaptive cruise all the time. And if you go to your vehicle setup, vehicle, driving convenience, you've got a few options. So you've got smart cruise control, which is the only type of cruise. So you can select your distance using this button there if you want. So how close are you from that leading vehicle? You can adjust it here. You can also select how fast or slow the vehicle responds to different things. I'm personally okay with just the basics. Like fast is good there. You might want it to, speed up faster, be a little bit more reactive or less reactive, etc. Or you can put it back to the default settings there. There's lane change assist available on the highway, and then an auto speed change too. So it's based off of navigation, so based off of the route that you're taking. And then you've got 2 more buttons here, and that's to navigate through some different pages inside of the cluster screen, and then you can move up or down. You've got your speedometer off to the left, tachometer off to the right-hand side. Along the very bottom, it's your fuel gauge done a few different ways. So you've got your kilometers or miles till empty, along with your fuel gauge this way. If the auto hold setting was enabled, you can disable that just underneath the shifter. With the auto hold setting enabled, if you're in drive, you're in a complete stop, take your foot off the brake, the vehicle is not going to move. There's the auto start stop system, whether or not that one's enabled, disabled, etc. Along the bottom, you've got your current outside temperature, and then you've got your fuel done a few different ways. So you can see what your total fuel economy is. I'll show you that in a second, but you've got this little dot right in the very middle, and that lets you know what your fuel economy has been so far. So I'm just doing an explainer video, which is why it's brutal, but it does give pretty good economy overall. You can see what drive mode that you're currently in. So whether you're in the comfort mode, eco, sport, or smart, and then terrain modes, snow, mud, or sand. So they're going to play with traction control, stability control, things like that. But it's nice. Smart mode is going to figure out which mode that you're in automatically. Sport gives you the best possible performance. So rather than shifting at maybe 2,000 RPM, it might shift at 4,000 RPM. It gives you the best possible performance. Eco is the best possible economy, and comfort is more of like your day-to-day driving. But you can see here, it's customizing the look as I move through the different options. But inside of the infotainment system, if you go into your vehicle setup, screen layout, that's going to give you the option of selecting different themes. So if we have it linked to the drive mode, as you move between different modes, it's going to change it up. But if you love the economy of the eco mode, but you love the look of the sport mode, you can lock it out to any of the available themes. So you could go this way or that way. So then as you change between different drive modes, it leaves it locked on that view. So if you love one look over the other, you can adjust it out there, or just have it linked to your individual drive mode. So I love that you can customize that look there. And then you've got so I mentioned there, drive mode, along with your current odometer along the very bottom, your engine temperature is there, the gear that you're currently in, and then you've got different options for safety settings, and then you've got 4 main pages that are all controlled using the button here. So as you move between different options, you've got your basic settings. If you push and hold OK, that's going to drive you into some additional driver assistance settings inside of the infotainment system. But if you want to walk through on the infotainment specifically and those driver assistance settings, check down in the description of this video. Then you can push in order to move between all of your different drive info. You can look at your sensory fueling, total accumulated info, And then you've got your digital speed. Now, some of these things you can see hold OK to reset. So you've got your sensor refueling. So if you wanted to reset your economy, you just take this button you're going up and down with. If you push and hold, that's going to send you back out. And you saw there, so as we go between different options, it's going to reset. So if we go accumulated info now, watch this counter's going to drop back down to 0. And then as you start to drive, your economy is going to be denoted just by that little dot in the middle as you go. But you've got options, and then you've got your direction there. So you've got whatever direction you're facing, basic compass view. If you had factory navigation, let's go and find an address here.
Please proceed to the highlight.
So you don't have full turn, or you don't have full mapping cluster in the vehicle. You've at least got your turn-by-turn directions. So kind of neat that's available. Distance until your end destination, and then you've also got your directions there. Now, if you had the head-up display inside of your Telluride, you'd be able to see your turn-by-turn directions there, vehicle speed, your driving assistance settings, and things like that, which you can adjust these things out, including adjusting up the height and things like that inside of the infotainment system. So you can go up or down in order to adjust out the height. If you want to make it easier to see, you can adjust the rotation, the brightness of the display, things like that, along with the content. So do you want your direction showing up in there, yay or nay? Do you want your driving info showing up, your blind spot safety information, radio if it was going, etc.? And then tapping one more time gets you to your tire pressure, or what wheel is getting which amount of power. So we're in the all-wheel drive version, so you can see which axle is getting which amount of power as you drive. If you go to your setup, general, and then you've got your measurement units, or units specifically. So you can change between either kilometers or miles very easily there. When you're in kilometers, ideally you're going to be in liters per 100. Miles gives you the option of US or UK. And then you can also adjust out the climate inside of the vehicle too. You've got your park, reverse, neutral, drive. And then if you were to move the stick over, that puts you into the manual mode. So you'd be able to adjust out the gear that you're in that way, which works the same way as using paddle shifters. But if you've never used paddle shifters or a hand shifter, you'll find a walkthrough down below. Then you've got all of your drive versus terrain modes. So they're going to play with things like traction control, stability control, things like that. You'll probably be in either comfort or eco most of the time. Sport, if you want better performance. Smart figures out which mode you're in, just based off of driving conditions. Then you tap again to get to either snow, mud, or sand, which play with traction control, stability control, things like that. There's your auto start stop, so the one that's potentially going to kill power to the engine if you come down to a complete stop. Auto hold, which with that one enabled, take your foot off the brake, vehicle's not going to move. You can toggle your parking brake on or off easily. So you pull up to turn it on, push the brake in, push down to turn it off. You can also control the beeping that you get as you get closer to obstacles. And then there's a hot button push in order to get to your available surround view monitor, full 360 camera. That's beautiful. I know that is a lot of information, but that's everything you need to know about the steering wheel as well as the cluster inside of the Kia Telluride.